Well, I'll see you in Mumbai. See you in Mumbai then. Okay, thank you very much, Professor Salvatore from Sydney, ladies and gentlemen. And the Adani controversy is dead, it's buried, the data speaks for itself. But the issue isn't so much about one controversy, it's about the pattern of churning out and the amplifying of falsehood after falsehood after falsehood to mar the India story. So far, all of it has fallen flat, from the BBC documentaries to the Hindenburg reports. Rahul Gandhi is stumped, looking clueless as ever. The opposition has no issues left. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, whether every controversy was carefully planned cannot be dismissed. Take a look at the Adani controversy, how it fell apart, and then we shall debate.
Protests in front of the SBI offices. Demands for a JPC.
ये जो अडानी का मेगा घोटाला है और जो प्रधानमंत्री प्रयास कर रहे हैं इसको छुपाने में, इस पर पार्लियामेंट में बहस होना नहीं देना चाहते हैं। हमारे नेता प्रतिपक्ष खड़गे जी को मौका ही नहीं मिल रहा है कि हम चाहते हैं कि इस पर जेपीसी हो, जांच हो, निष्पक्ष जांच हो। सरकार इस पर हमें कुछ कहने के लिए भी हमें मौका नहीं दे रही है।
The attempt was to taint the India image globally.
Prime Minister's efficiency to close his eyes to the realities and to respond like this is really commendable. Only a man who can blind in seeing the Indian reality would be able to say like this. It is true that the world is looking towards India because India has become a land of scams.
The mission was to make Adani the issue for 2024.
10 लाख लोग पब्लिक सेक्टर में काम करते हैं और अदानी के पास 82,000 करोड़ आप देख के उसके पास सिर्फ 30,000 लोग काम करते हैं। 30,000 फिर भी उसको प्रोत्साहन मिलता है।
One second, sir. One second. Please take your seat. One second.
But in less than a fortnight, the Adani controversy is dead. 9 of 10 Adani group stocks have closed positive. Even the GVK group that Rahul was batting on Tuesday has come out and set the record straight.
As far as GVK is concerned, there was absolutely no pressure on our side, either through Gautam Adani or any other agency, for us to sell the airport. We sold the airport due to our own commercial interests and on our own accord.
Attempts to rehash the Adani controversy in Parliament has fizzled out. The Adani issue is already a footnote in the India story.
The real policy rate has moved into positive territory and the banking system has exited from the Chakravyuh of excess liquidity without causing any disruption.
The Prime Minister has completely brushed aside a clueless Rahul Gandhi, who meandered into Parliament halfway through the speech.
मोदी पे भरोसा अखबार की सुर्खियों से पैदा नहीं हुआ। मोदी पे ये भरोसा टीवी पर चमकते चेहरों से नहीं हुआ है। जीवन खपा दिया है, पल पल खपा दिए हैं, देश के लोगों के लिए खपा दिए हैं, देश के उज्जवल भविष्य के लिए खपा दिए हैं।
And ahead of 2024, the opposition is issueless. And attempts to improve Rahul Gandhi's image are exponentially increasing the damage.
Rahul ji has taken the right chord of the BJP party's inefficiencies. ये राहुल गांधी जी साबित कर दिया है कि आप जितना चाहो राहुल गांधी को पप्पू बनाने की, राहुल गांधी जी खुद आपको पप्पू बना दिया। राहुल गांधी खुद आपको पप्पू बना दिया।
The Adani controversy may be closed, but questions on who pushed the theories remains, and all eyes are on what next and who the conspirators were. That's the nation's opinion tonight.
continuous market reports, economy data, everything. It's quite clear the issue is over, and I think this is a good atmosphere in which we can reflect and look back. What do you think, Sohail and Tushar and Ghanshyam? You know, when the dust is settling and the heat is over, we should ask ourselves a few questions, please. And my first question. How do you like
Narendra Adani's speech today?
I mean, even by your standards, it was a very poor quality comment, Sohail. He planned all day, Sohail, Ghanshyam planned all day to make this comment.
For the first time,
I'll tell you one thing. This is the problem with our country today. The problem with our country today is when a serious issue is about to be discussed, we are facetious in the way we address the issue. Not only Ghanshyam, I'm just saying, generally,
please allow me to complete the sentence. Don't be in such a rush.
Arnab Goswami has raised a serious issue.
I was speaking.
Your only response to that is, how was Narendra Adani's speech? I think we need to grow up and get more mature about discussing serious issues on national.
I have
Adani's speech today.
B, let me finish.
I must congratulate
everyone. It's not just Ghanshyam. I have a lot of respect and a lot of time for Ghanshyam. My issue, Arnab, is this country has begun to live on smart alecky comments. Smart alecky comments mean nothing.
Congratulations, Arnab. Congratulations.
Now see, he's not letting me speak also yet.
Found courage and voice to hide out, to step out from their hideouts. They had been in hideouts ever since this started taking shape of a scam. I think it is worthwhile.
Come on, stop this irrelevance. Stop this silly talk.
Welcome.
I thought you are an educated man. Ghanshyam, you are an educated man. We thought you are stooping to be a completely a brainless fellow. You are an educated man. I'm appalled at your brainless comments.
Welcome from your hideout.
I'm appalled at your brainless comments. Do not stoop to the level of that debate. We are here because the government was questioned. Because the Prime Minister, because we are only here because there is a discussion in Parliament on this issue.
How many days did you let
Arnab, I think let us have a
Ghanshyam, I think 1 minute, just 1 minute. GVL, before you come in, Ghanshyam.
Let me ask a very significant question.
I think it won't be appropriate to constantly speak over others. So let him make his point. We're doing a debate in a proper format. GVL, yes. Yes.
Yeah, Arnab, you see, even the timing of these revelations are very suspect. 1 week before the budget session begins, you have a Hindenburg report. And 1 week before or a day before the monsoon session begins, you have a Pegasus spyware report. Every report is timed to the Parliament session in India. What does business houses in abroad or what do newspapers abroad have got to do with the Parliament session in India? What are they trying to bring down parliamentary democracy in India? Are they part of this this larger international conspiracy? I won't be okay. This could have come 2 months ago. This has been, they claim this report has been in preparation for 2 years. Now, but why would this come on the eve of budget session?
May I,
a very important budget session.
So one aspect, GVL,
policy of the government
one aspect GVL, which has come across extremely strongly. Monojit, let me please, I don't want to speak over you. I'll come to you after the end of my question. Right? Thank you. One issue, viewers, which has come up very strongly, and people are asking for it, is the issue of identity disclosure. Now, this has become a major controversy in this case, Tushar. Identity disclosure, everybody across India has now begun to ask. Identity disclosure. Who are the people who are actually Hindenburg? One. Is it true that it is not a research group? Is it true that it is a small and very controversial hedge fund which is under serious investigation for fraud and illegal trade practices by the US Department of Justice, which means it is a dubious, shady little hedge fund setup which is under question for illegalities and backroom payments, which does paid hit jobs. And therefore the question has now become of identity disclosure. The fact, Tushar, that for 2 weeks there was an attempt to fool the country that this is some research report. I mean, that this is some think tank.
I was supposed to. No, Arnab, the conspiracy was quite large. In less than 1 minute, let me sum up what the opposition was trying to do. In 2022, Congress just won one of the 9 states. So what was the next obvious step? To cook up a scam ahead of the 2024 elections and sell that to the general public at large. So here comes a dubious, shady agency with a history of short selling, and they tax Adani. The stock market price crashes. The opposition then makes it about the public sector banks failing, LIC failing, public money failing. But then the facts come out, Arnab. LIC's exposure is less than 1% and in the profits. The public sector banks say that our debt to Adani has come down in the last 6 years and we do not have any threat to our loans. And the retail investors, as a part of the complete Adani shares, remain less than 1%. But what they were trying to do, Arnab, was they were trying to throw some economic jingoism. You know, like the one that happened in 2008. Oh, look, your banks are sinking. Oh, look, there is so much economic exposure. Look, there is crony capitalism. They wanted to build a narrative, quite like they did during CAA and during the farm laws, that somehow Adani can take down the Indian economy. But the people were smarter, Arnab. The media was smarter. But then the question arises, why were they trying to sell this narrative of the Indian economy sinking altogether? Yes, this was a conspiracy, but who was behind it? This was the entire story.
It was well planned out. And one more thing, Monojit, that I have found out and many people are informing. In fact, don't be shocked by what I'm about to tell you right now. Sohail, this is actually going to blow the lid of everything. Viewers, this campaign, which was called a Stop Adani campaign, and not just the campaign, the Stop Adani campaign, along with that, the campaigns which were hyperlinked through certain media groups to target Narendra Modi, have now been found by various research teams to have deep connections with the same groups that were part of Greta Thunberg's January 2001 toolkit campaign. You follow what I'm saying here? Sohail, how did Greta Thunberg, Adani, toolkit come back together? And don't smile, now you know you've been caught. This is not a research group, Monojit.
No, so Monojit comes in.
It's a big conspiracy, Sohail. I think we need to really watch out for what has happened here. Really watch out very closely.
By the Prime Minister?
Before Monojit comes in, on your channel, Harish Salve said
why are you showing my face? I'm not that good looking.
Again, I'm not saying anything, Monojit. Let me finish here. None of the political spokespeople allow other people to speak. I mean, how ridiculous is this here? First Ghanshyam interrupted, now Monojit, and Monojit normally doesn't interrupt. I don't know what's happened to him also today. 1 minute, let me finish. I've just started.
No, I'm going to put you live on air also. You are live on air because you started speaking. After this, Monojit, we will come to you. I'm sure my ratings are going to go through the roof when you speak.
No,
just give me a moment.
Arnab, is you put a ranking of who will speak when so that other people.
No, you are speaking now. Monojit is speaking next. And everybody will speak always.
Perfect. So here's what my submission is. On your channel, Harish Salve said that there is a conspiracy against India. I don't want to comment on individual A, B, corporation A, B. Today, I want to focus on 2 things that have happened. Number 1, the Prime Minister's address in Parliament. This, to my mind, is a defining period to recognize and understand the gains, the strides, and the rapid progress that India has made in the last 8 years. Now, whether people agree or disagree is quite another matter. And if people disagree, then rebut the points that the Prime Minister has made. Has India not succeeded with the Digital India campaign? To my mind, the answer is yes. Even an honorable man like the Reserve Bank of India governor today said that people who are international travelers who are coming into India, especially from G20 countries, can use UPI and digital payment mechanisms in our country. Number two, have we not expanded and not ensured the expansion and rightful expansion of the image of brand India? We have. Now people will say you've got the presidency of G20 rotationally, fair enough. We have. Are Indian businesses and Indian entrepreneurs more successful than ever before? The answer is yes. Have we had more startups, more unicorns in India? The answer is yes.
2 versus 2.
Have we succeeded and did we do a splendid job with hiccups? I will say with hiccups. During COVID, the answer is yes. Now you tell me, how often and how long will we continue to find fault with our own country? Narendra Modi is the Prime Minister of the Republic of India. He's not the Prime Minister of the Bharatiya Janata Party or Republic or GVL or Monarchy. My question here is, if you believe there is a diversion, if you believe there are lies being repeated, counter those with facts. You can't keep negating India because you hate Modi. And my submission here, I was about to call you Arnab, is that constantly the hatred for Modi is now passing through to hatred for India and for what Indians have achieved. That's my limited point. Please don't decry the achievement of the average Indian because you hate Modi, since you can't make the strides that Modi and or his party have made.
And I do hope that in this moment of in this moment of reflection, we must not come with prepared speeches. And I request you, Monojit, that you must answer my specific question today. Very specific question. Very specific question. Okay? There was not one...
If you allow me to answer...
No, I haven't asked the question. How can you answer before I start? Was there one sentence of new information? No. My very specific question. Was there one sentence of new information in the Hindenburg report? In my view, they compiled all publicly available data and they published it with a headline. Now, who does that? A person who is in a hurry. Okay, suppose if someone wants to do a hit job, suppose I want to do a hit job on Suhail Seth. I'll just pull out all the bad articles on Suhail Seth, give it a headline and say it's a research report. Hindenburg did not do that in the case of Nikola in the past when they brought Nikola down. In the case of Nikola, which is the electric vehicle maker, they had new allegations which led to the conviction of fraud for Nikola. In this case, they compiled old information with a new headline, which can only happen if you are in a hurry and if you have no new research. See, you have to be really stupid to fall for something like this. I mean, don't mind, I'm not judging anyone, I'm not calling anyone stupid, but you got to be daft to believe something like this. This was, the con job was Hindenburg, Monojit. The con job was Hindenburg. You fell for it. You fell for it.
कौन है?
Krishank fell for it.
ना. कौन है?
You got conned by the con Hindenburg.
So were you.
Hindenburg was the con.
You, the entire country. And I tell you, अरे अभी तो बोलने दो, एक अकेला बोलते जे तो अरे कथा तो बोलते देबे দেখেছো
বলো রাগ কেন করছো বলো don't get angry.
Listen to me. If I go by the words spoken by my very erudite friend Suhail Seth, is basically suggesting or rather revalidating the charges that we are making. Adani equal to Modi equal to India.
Oh,
Rewind
no,
the
no, no,
speech.
no, no, he
That's
didn't say,
what
no,
he's
no,
trying
no,
to
no, no,
suggest.
no, no,
No, who
no,
the
no,
hell
no,
is
no,
this
he didn't
Adani?
say that.
अरे what? No, no, no. अरे अभी तो बोलने दो. अभी बोला था बोलने दोगे नहीं दिया.
না না ভাই শোনো আমাদের সঙ্গে এইভাবে কথা বলবে না আমি এই শব্দটা ইস্তেমাল করলাম না
Look what I have done with you. Just
না 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 ভাই আরে তুমি যাই চাও বলতে যাবে
and you are caught.
আমরা কিছু বলবো
Only
না
half a
নাকি
sentence and you are caught, Mr. Sheth.
No,
who is saying that India is falling down? Who is saying that you are saying? You have equated Mr. Modi with Adani with India. We are not saying it. In fact, we are countering that very argument. Perhaps Adani has made the name of the Prime Minister to spread his empire across the globe. Point number one. Point number two, a terrific election speech by the Prime Minister without even mentioning Adani for a single moment. Terrific election speech. Incidentally, he again revalidates the charge of the opposition that ED has been used to target the opposition. Again, rewind the speech of the Prime Minister.
No, he didn't say that.
All the oppositions are getting united because of ED, meaning he is actually confessed in the floor of the parliament that ED
Mamata Banerjee has sacked Partha Chatterjee. Mamata Banerjee, who I adore.
I think he did not hear the speech. Either you did not understand Hindi, Mr. Monojit, you cannot misquote Prime Minister. You cannot misquote. You cannot misquote a speech made in Parliament. You can be hauled up for a parliamentary privilege.
Hound them out.
You can be hauled up for a parliamentary privilege.
Monojit.
You cannot.
If you cannot digest the words of Hindenburg,
when did
go
he say about
and hound them. Please, but for God's sake, spare the public money that you have squandered with this particular company. How many shell companies they have in Mauritius?
Very well intact.
We are not
look
saying
at the manner.
He is a con.
Look at the manner how the stock market has bounced back.
We don't have any problem with
it's a
Mr.
part of the stock market behavior.
We do not have any problem, but we want to know whether our money, LIC आपका money नहीं है, पैसा नहीं है.
Okay, I'd like to go across to Krishank. I'd like to go to Krishank Mane, please. Krishank. We must now look at this a little, in hindsight, did we fall prey to this conspiracy? Now that we do know that Hindenburg is a very dubious short seller with unknown backers who was under serious investigation for economic offences in the United States by the US Department of Justice. Was there an attempt to con the country by Hindenburg and their associates?
Arnab, thank you. Finally, I get an opportunity after 45 minutes of waiting and hearing your friend from Sydney and the rest of the panelists with all patient ears. Well, I am here to tell you clearly that we have not fallen for the Hindenburg report because, per se, if you want me to answer the specifics, our Chief Minister KCR has questioned about the Adani taking over the Mumbai airport, which we continue to reiterate strongly that yes, we want answers about this. Why? See, this is the front page advertisement of the Adani for their FPO, in which it is clearly stated, Arnab, that Adani entered into the airports business in 2019. 2019, yes, interesting. And then I gathered some documents with some specific data that Adani has joined the registrar of companies here. And we are not the conspirators because there was a 13-member committee, Arnab, 13-member committee with the Ministry of Finance, Civil Aviation, additional secretaries, DEA. And you know what guidelines have they mentioned? That one company should not have more than 2 airports, number one. And about the technical bids in it, the technical criteria in it, which were removed. This technical criteria was removed. The 2 airports criteria was removed. And then, of course...
Is there any link between GVK and GMR?
I am coming to that.
Is there
Yes,
any
it
link
is.
between
Yeah,
GVK
yes.
and GMR? Any corporate link between them?
Yes, because
Are
there
they
is
one
this
group
first,
or two groups? Do they have one airport, two airports, three airports in the past? When were
there
they
are 6
incorporated? What was their
airports.
domain experience?
I'm coming to that, Arnab. I'm coming to that. Now, this is this first information report of 2020 on the GVK. Of course, before that, there were CBI raids too. But it's really very interesting, Arnab, that in Indian legal system, 750 crores, I believe yesterday also you flashed it on the screen, that the allegations or the charges by the CBI on GVK was 750 crores. But within 2.5 years, the charges were removed. The charges were removed and they're clear.
Just 1 minute, just 1 minute. One very short question. Very short, one line. Exactly one line, Krishna. Exactly one line. Great argument. One line. Well, absolutely, I will. My question to you is, good research you've done. Did you also find in your research that the GVK group has been unable to carry out its fundamental debt servicing, that it had stopped paying salaries and had wanted to exit well before the CBI case was actually filed? Did you forget to mention that, please?
No.
And can you tell me on what past experience they were also given the Navi Mumbai airport?
Oh yes. By then they were functioning with 5 airports. And one more thing, Arnab.
So then you're contradicting yourself.
Arnab.
So why is it about GVK?
No. Adani. It's about Adani.
Krishank, is it about GVK?
Any technical criteria.
Is GVK
without any technical criteria?
No, but
without and let me quote this one thing. Let me quote this one thing.
Okay.
This is a document of the High Court of Bombay. High Court, GVLG, please listen to this. This is a document of High Court of Bombay where I am reading out 2 quotations. The respondents are independent legal entities who are stated to be controlling GVK, but that cannot justify the plaintiff's attempt to prevent them from exercising.
Krishank, my only point is, if there are one minute. GVL, one line from me. If there are any political parties, entities or corporate groups this is a battle about the Mumbai airport, we should say it openly. Rahul Gandhi and you and all your leaders should say this is a battle for the Mumbai airport. This is nothing to do with Hindenburg. These are our old political and corporate rivalries coming to the fore.
Arnab, we are not like Rahul Gandhi to show a traveling photo of
Arnab, can I
Minister and a corporate tycoon. But here I am with the specifics to tell you clearly that there was a rift between Adani and the GVK.
Of course there was.
2019 they have had a legal battle.
Of course there was.
That
there
is
was.
the reason.
Okay. Are there corporate rivalries? Have there been no corporate rivalries in this country before?
Corporate rivalries which has benefited Adani. CBI goes in. Arnab, my straight question, 2 years, just in 2 years,
Arnab,
CBI charges are removed.
Yeah, okay.
Legal system working very fast. Just because it is for GVK.
That's a solid point. How were the charges removed after the airports were handed over? Yeah, GVL, respond to him. I think Krishank did a good job with his research tonight. I must concede that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Arnab.
I would call it silly. I would call these accusations completely
Please
bogus.
stop name calling.
Because there are any number of committees in government. There can be any number of committees. I've said bogus. That's nothing unparliamentary about it. Because any number of committees. Let me tell him, KCR. Look, there will be hundreds of cases where KCR, like a monarch, dictates what the policy of the government should be.
So you're shifting the goalposts now. You're shifting the goalposts now.
Reduced to being simply listeners. No, so why should a committee recommendation, why should it be binding on the government? There cannot be, you're claiming as if a committee recommendation has to be accepted as a gospel truth. It is finally for the government to take a decision. No, it doesn't matter. There can be 30 members.
We'll have to.
Officials. There can be 100 officials.
Okay, so I'll invite the GVK group and get you all to respond to this. Pankaj hasn't spoken at all, Pankaj.
The Supreme Court has convicted officials at the level of secretaries to the government of India. Don't tell me this rubbish that what government officials say is always right. What governments decide is wrong. There can be a committee report which may not.
It's cleared of his charges.
But GVK came and said there was no pressure.
Reason.
They are countering you.
Of course he will. Of course he will, Arnab.
No, are you mind reading him? Okay, Pankaj. Pankaj is on the debate. Interesting. Pankaj, come on now. Before the debate ends, you must speak. Ghanshyam is smiling once again. He thinks he's got the edge.
Mr. Goswami.
Yes, Pankaj.
Mr. Goswami, you have rightly said that identity disclosure is very important. So is there anything wrong in attracting Prime Minister's attention to the fact that certain companies based in tax havens have invested in defense-related industries owned by a particular businessman? And it needs an inquiry to ascertain the identity of the owners of these foreign-based companies. What is wrong in asking this? What is wrong in asking the Prime Minister about the details of his official foreign trips in which a particular businessman accompanied him or reached before him and joined? Nothing wrong.
No, but so, Arnab,
these fundamental questions should have been answered by the Prime Minister in his speech, but he didn't do this. See, I am covering Parliament for around 4 decades, maybe from 81, 82, and I can tell you that I have never heard any Prime Minister, and there were 9 more
10-second rebut.
Before
GVL, 10-second rebut.
GVL. To any debate on any matter.
10 seconds, come on to each, we're extending.
But why should the Prime Minister, Arnab, the Prime Minister of India, be making a comment on the affairs of a public enterprise?
Okay,
it's
GVL,
a share market crash. It's not
GVL and GVL, then Ghanshyam. Come on, moving fast. GVL, then Ghanshyam. Stand up. GVL.
If a journalist was covered, you obviously you haven't seen a Prime Minister like this. I think you've been a journalist. You have seen only corrupt Prime Ministers. I will get that comment. There have been any number of Prime Ministers who have been accused of corruption. You are happy listening to them.
जाको राखे साइयां मार सके ना कोई. Similarly, जिसको नरेंद्र अडानी जी डिफेंड नहीं कर पाए, उसको उनके प्रवक्ता क्या करेंगे? जब नरेंद्र अडानी जी अडानी ग्रुप को डिफेंड नहीं कर पाए, तो जीवीएल और अडानी समूह के बाकी प्रवक्ता तो उन्हें डिफेंड नहीं कर पाए.
Ladies and gentlemen, one thing is there. I only have one thing. We must have an investigation.
You haven't seen a Prime Minister like him.
We must have an investigation. But I am going to call the GVK group now. The GVK group has to come and explain things, and we'll get Krishank back when that happens. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. The promise to come back at 9 o'clock tomorrow with the sharpest opinion, and as always, only for tonight. Good night and goodbye.
Amity faculty have filed over 1,700 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been conferred with the National Intellectual Property Award by Government of India for being the top Indian academic institution for patents and commercialization.
Everything we know, everything we love, might well be at risk. The time for action is now. Together, we can be champions for the Earth.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है, पर नामुमकिन नहीं। अब फायरवॉल टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम आग से बचाए।
The Bharatiya Janata Party Karyakartas are on the street. They are protesting at the ITO office of the Aam Aadmi Party. They are saying that this is Aam Aadmi Party who did not want to elect